here in 2016. He had stepped aside in 2015 and allowed Stephen Bialowas to take this team to the host games. They were the Pan Am Games in Toronto in 2015, and they went on to win a silver medal in tribute of their coach. And now Bialowas, who was the interim coach at the time, carries on with duties with his Canadian team and has led them here to Rio. And maybe it hasn't been the tournament that they have enjoyed over the last 4 Paralympic Games, but this is the start of a new beginning for Canada. As you look across this Turkey lineup, and their captain GURBULak, number 5, is really the one to be looking for. They also have some depth in number 35, GUMUS, who will score double digits per game. And there, their leadership coming from their coach, Tesetin Sipa. He will take very seriously the comments made by his team about their real ambition is to win a gold medal. And of course, they are a team that are realistically in that hunt in this tournament. They finished 7th in London, but in this sport and in any sport, you can make quantum leaps, and they obviously have done. What will they do against this lineup here? Hedges, LANCIA, JASSMAN, Miller, and ENG. And it's going to be important, of course, to make sure they take care of business, this Turkish side, in this matchup. They have already given themselves a position guaranteed in the quarterfinal, and GURBULak, as you see, number 5, TOPRAK GEZINCI GUNDOGDU, and equally rounded out there is their lineup. And this will be the interesting part, how strong they could be right through. This is the Canadian record. Defeats the Spain, Netherlands, Australia, and Japan. The closest was against Netherlands, where they were defeated by 17 points. And then the scoreline so far in this tournament for Turkey: victories over Japan, Spain, and Netherlands, that defeat by 2 points to Australia. And the referees in charge of this one, Max Kindevater is the referee, and then the 2 umpires, Jamie Osaguera and also Maurizio Zamponi. The Italian, the American, and the German in charge is Kindevater. So they will set up shop in anticipation of these teams coming from their coaching huddles in front of their benches. Another great crowd, and at the moment it's official. This is the 2nd best attended Paralympic Games in the history of the competition, and there is still time to go. So you would anticipate this could be potentially the most attended Paralympic event in the history of these Paralympic Games. They started in 1960 in Rome, and the comparable is the Beijing in 2008. So what a story the Brazilians and Rio de Janeiro are writing here in 2016 in this competition. They are putting on a show, and they're supporting it as well, as you just heard. They are 2nd in history at this moment in time as it's being recorded, and that officially the media from Great Britain, who have clocked closely. There was the reservations that maybe Paralympic sport or this particular competition was maybe not going to have the same great attendance, but that has been put to bed as the Brazilians have come out in the thousands to be here to enjoy what has been the best of the best on stage for the world to watch and enjoy. It'll be taken by Turkey in red with the white trim, Canada with white, and they've got black and also a little bit of red detailing as well. The opening bit of possession now for Turkey. TOPRAK is a 3.0 classified player, 24 years of age. He thought about going for a 3-ball. You see the shot clock getting away from them here. They've got to operate quickly. They're going to maybe just get it off in time. The buzzer, I think, goes before that shot's released, but Canada need to clean up that rebound regardless. So if they hit the rim before, when the shot is released before the buzzer sounds and hit the rim, then it's really open season for an offensive rebound and then a 14-second shot clock. And Canada will start first with Hedges as he puts it right off the glass and scores the opening 2 points. So this sport, 5 players, as you can see, each one of them with a numerical value placed against their impairment, which ultimately makes up their classification. And the lowest level of function would be a 1.0, the highest level of function a 4.5. And quickly Turkey come right back. They get a couple looks at it. They pick up the offensive rebound. And there you see the man responsible for it. GUNDOGDU. He will score it, and he gets the leveling second point. This for David Eng. He's gone off the glass, and that looked like a high riser that maybe was offline. So just to clarify about the classification, so a total of 14 points is the cumulative value allowed on the floor at any one time. So from 1.0, the ball handler right now, this is the captain for Turkey. He's a 4.0. As we say, the highest would be 4.5. It'll be followed up, and another good offensive rebound from Turkey. Put themselves in a golden position just to keep touch with the Canadians, who've had a little bit of a good run. A couple back-to-back scores. Eng will just take away that defensive hand and finds a different angle to it, but he's just a little strong off the glass. And the rebound, once again from Turkey, falls into their possession. Quick advancing pass to the inside, a little bit of a touch from behind, so that's the hoop and the harm. They'll have a shot from the line, and they really are tight about how the athletes must control their wheelchairs so that they aren't going to be assessed with a foul, and that was just Eng who gets it. So going now to the line is GEZINCI. So he takes the bonus shot, could increase this to 3. Hedges with the rebound. And he takes it the length of the floor. Pretty calm in his advancement so far. Hasn't had a whole lot of pressure as yet. He'll get it down to Eng. Eng's uncle, a former member of the Canadian men's wheelchair basketball program. A big part of his inspiration for the journey he has taken. Got a couple gold medals, a silver medal already at the Paralympic Games as a member of this side, and well, this memory different in its construction at the moment. It's not going to end with the same possibility of being on the podium, but it will take on a new dimension. Eng really a legacy player now to make certain that the next wave and generation understand just what level they need to play at to be successful in the sport. Eng is 39 years of age, and they'll come in now again, Turkey. They've doubled up the Canadians, 8-4. So interesting, just chatting about Eng. He goes to the University of Texas at Arlington University in the United States. His club team is actually the New York Rolling Knicks. He comes from Montreal, plays a little bit with the Laval Gladiators as well. There's a little 2-point bucket from range. So it was his uncle, Gerald Brule, played for the Canadian wheelchair basketball team and also competed in table tennis at the 2007 Pan Am Games here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This for Canada, a defensive rebound. Just the inaccurate shot from Turkey allows them with this possession to level. Eng is just a little bit tight there. He goes off of the near side, and he was named the wheelchair basketball athlete of 2012 in Canada, was Eng. And here he looked to be in as good a position as he needed to be to get the 2 points there, but something wrong with his chair. Just think it's the rolling of that back caster wheel. Seems as though it's been worked out for him. So this year, a full rupture of his bicep. And here he is competing and leading this side. That's a pretty fluid stroke there. And again, just visualizing it going through the practice pattern. He'll take it and right back, comes inside, doesn't he? Kind of an outside position, so muscular. And he almost needs to probably just get around his pec and get that shoulder line for a good shot. Turkey a little bit sloppy in the last couple attempts. They'll be ruining those couple misses. They could be up in the double digits for sure by now. But 1 from 2 is TOPRAK. Shooting at 50%. He's got 2 points. Equally does GEZINCI. And GUNDOGDU with the 2 points as well. Also they're at number 77. So 4 different scores across these 8 points so far for Turkey. And I've not seen that in a tournament or in this game, in this tournament, in this particular sport, to have 4 individual scores at this low of a scoring total. So that's really good distribution from Turkey, an indication of just how well balanced they are. And there they knock down with a good steal, the big hand going up from the Turkish defender. And this is their big man, number 10, GEZINCI. We have seen him already at the line taking shots, and he had the bonus, but couldn't make it count. This in much closer stead right now through the opening 5 minutes. Maybe Turkey would prefer, but the Canadians, just because they're transitioning doesn't mean that they aren't a very proud nation. They're looking to make certain that they build through this remaining match. You got GONCIN out now. He is a real star of the future for this program. That's the number 4 Canadian, a 4.5 classified player, 24 years of age, and Turkey do hit double digits there. As you see their captain just rolling away. GURBULAK, 35 years, young, and GONCIN, he's got some great moves. Likes a little bit of snowboarding as well. Speaks 3 different languages. English, obviously his main language, but Croatian, Serbian. He began at 2008 at the age of 16 playing. His real goal is to play the sport if he could professionally overseas, but the most memorable moment is playing in the Paralympic Games. That was last summer in Toronto. That's the indication of a foul. And we've seen a couple times now double teaming from Canada on the captain for Turkey, and he's just, life is not made easy for him. You can see already GEZINCI a little bit frustrated, but Canada are just looking to lock up the Turkish captain. And a need for clarification over at timekeeper's table. He does finally get loose, and they really had him locked up in the vice grip, the Canadian players. That's part of it. All of this off the play maneuvering and equally trying to control the opposition. But chatting about GONCIN, born in Sarajevo, then naturalizing as a Canadian citizen. His amputation as a result of cancer. So every story a different one. Some of the impairments innate, others acquired. And this now needs double duty over at the timekeeper's bench. See the possession arrow, that's loud and clear. But this, the last on our play-by-play system is the defensive rebound from GONCIN. But it'll be a timeout utilized by both teams here. Why technically they get things sorted over there at the timekeeper's bench. They have enough people, I think, to get that resolved. So it's requiring Vailoas now to come in for his input. It's the Canadian coach. So this, the only thing could be going on is potentially the gauging of classifications and whether or not they've exceeded the number 14 on the floor. Because each player must submit their numerical number there. You'll see them on the table as to a degree to help this monitoring from the sideline that they aren't exceeding that cumulative value of 14. GONCIN. He's the ball handler or shooter, a down low option. He also loves to distribute too. He really has a different playing style for a big man, quite as big as you see Turkey's number 10. That really is a target. GEZINCI. He's 31 years of age. And a 4.5 classified player. But you see the size of him. That really is an asset, particularly if they've got speed and power to match. But taking away those passing lanes, when obviously it's coming from the height where they're all sat at that same level, really in the most. The chairs are designed in a way, obviously, to complement and to enhance the athlete's capabilities. And those that aren't quite as tall, obviously, with a lower chair, and equally if they're looking for more mobility in the style of their play. But there is a little bit of a difference in the size of the wheels. You can see it right here. As the captain probably has another couple inches on the overall circumference of his wheel. Number 5 was talking about GURBULAK for Turkey. It helps him roll a little bit quicker, but it all depends. Every chair has a different feel to it. And the contact coming up from the Turkish defender, Liam Hickey, with the ball there, 18 years of age. He's number 8 for Canada. So we've seen already Bailoas having to just explain who is who and how the classifications and how they all add up with each other. Utilize now a timeout just to make sure that they understand the coaching points he wants to emphasize with the 3:20 remaining in this opening quarter. Inbound, and Canada with control. This into GONCIN. Really shows a little bit of flair, that body control. He's looking with just that pivoting little swivel move that he offers. He's so quick with his left to right movement, so smooth. He can be deceptive enough there, try to get a defender to move one direction and then obviously breaking the other way. And they've just not been able to utilize this 24 seconds. They've passed it around, nobody's shot it, and that evidence that Canada hasn't always maybe been as quick or equally as mindful as they would like to be and need to become again. This for the captain, GURBULAK, with the ball, and he has done the lion's share of scoring for Turkey from outside. It's a 3-ball, and that one will just go off the rim. It looked as though it had promise from that range. This just bounding forward, the offload, the no-look really just fed into GONCIN. And can this be struck? It will be, and that is Hickey. He's a 4.0, he's the teenager. So good times for your 18th playing in the Paralympic Games in Rio. And he drops a pair on the board. So the Canadians, they currently have 4 different scores over the 9 points that they have scored. So I was commenting on how impressive it was that Turkey had done that equally with the 8. Very similarly for Canada, the same picture of distribution and balance. Look at this from GONCIN. It's the swipe though coming up by the Turkish defender that forces him to have to find a little bit of a different line. You see that he almost has that ability. It's like he could do some of those extreme sports. I mentioned about his interest in snowboarding. That'll take some doing as well. He shows really that he has that guile, equally that grace and poise. This will go up, and it will not be accurate though. And it's taken down by the big man, GONCIN. And he's just gone out, hasn't he? So the wheels, as soon as they touch the white marking line down the boundaries, it will in fact bring about the call from the watchful referees. This one, it falls into the hands of Peter Wan outside to GONCIN. He almost tries to get the little bit of a hitch from the defender. And again, you're seeing the great defensive game. GEZINCI with this ball here. And his rebound total so far, he's got a couple of them. He's just got them from the defensive end, but he just seems to be a colossus of a presence out there and really dictating terms as to what the Canadians are doing or not, depending on where he's positioned. So inside the last minute, there are substitutions now in. GURBULAK, TOPRAK, GEZINCI, GUNDOGDU, and also are out now on the court for Turkey. There he is, GEZINCI. He has a couple. And from this range, it's a left-handed stroke right in the basket, and well taken there. So that is GUMUS. He just comes out and makes the most of his first touch of the ball. So that was just his first moment in the game. He came on and then he took the opening shot. But this, a fast break. They'll have to work quickly. They do have enough time. They've forgotten about the clock and they don't end up shooting it. They really could have probably just gone for an extended layup as long as they got it off, but that's one of those things. Just lost track for a moment, but nonetheless, Turkey have come out and are performing well. Canada equally are as well. They're keeping it tight, but it's Turkey 14, Canada 9 at quarter time. This is the last match in the Group A in the preliminary round for both of these sides. Turkey have designs on going deep into this one. They're already set up for the quarterfinal. So the shooting percentage for two-point range a little bit better. And then just the one free throw. So if you look through the rest of the stats, they're very equal. The points or turnovers, they grab 4 of them. And that's indicating in the overall scoreline at the moment, with Turkey having the advantage by 5. So again, confirmation of the scoreline. Turkey, the more efficient shooting in that opening 10 minutes. No reason why Canada couldn't have been right beside them in this one, but it ultimately just comes down to maximizing the opportunities that you do get. And they will get the inbound to start this second quarter. So it's the habits right now that the coach Bialowas is wanting to see, and they come out with a good one there. Direct play. ENG and GONCIN together can really be a tandem that is difficult to handle for anybody. They're both 4.5, so their total value takes you up to a 9. So then you only have 5 points to which to work with. You got HEDGES, who's out there as the captain. He's 2.5 of them. And then the other personnel, as you see, Abdi Dini, he's a 1.0. And then also Miller, he's a 1.5. So that was now been just brought to our attention, just watching how that gets managed. It's assumed really as the play goes on, but that is the job of the officials there on those timekeeper benches, and equally monitoring over, making sure that they are just maximizing, yes, using their full 14-point allocation. I'm sure they haven't got an issue if they haven't got the full 14 points out there, but if they exceed it, well, that's when the question marks come. Making sure it's always a level playing field, and the teams are playing obviously within the letters of the law. This for GONCIN. He has great speed, he just protects that ball, but when he comes up against GEZINCI, that's when things seem to slow down. GEZINCI, I expect, is well past 6 feet if he were to be standing up. Look at him there. Even there high in his chair, he needs that for the length of his legs to make sure that obviously he has the wheels up and he's fully mobile, but he is as big a player in this tournament in the men's side. ENG is going to go off the glass. It's a little bit short though, picked up well. Rebound GONCIN, thought about it right away. Back into ENG, and ENG really isn't as tall as the two defenders that were looking to smother him. He is wide, he is thick and solid, and a great physique on him. And we talk about the difference in size for GEZINCI. He's only averaging 5 points a game, but it's all of the traffic that he reroutes coming through that middle lane that has a big impact on the opposing teams. Here he's got the ball now. He can shoot from there. He's got the range for it. He sets. He's going to use the glass, and you see how sharp an angle that was. Quite a low rising attempt. You could really benefit more by just elevating that shot, almost having the arc of it reach before it touches the glass, and then start dropping downward. That's been turned over, anticipated well by Turkey. They'll take it up this left side. The offload in. He's got a good pair of hands on him as well. Does the big man. They're into the paint from short range, and that's just a 8-10 footer. But again, not enough of that arc to really benefit from. It just slides across the surface of the rim. That's contact on the arm before ENG gets in a position to shoot. Ferit seems to be the man who has made the contact. It's a difficult one because you don't see the contact on the arm, did you? He got entangled with the Canadian player, and that's probably just what the infringement was. Just look exactly the call. So the foul drawn, but nonetheless it's the substitutions, ins and outs, that is being closely monitored on that sequence. So Canada 4-2 up in the second quarter right now, and it's moved along quickly, already into the 4th minute, and the captain has had a couple whacks from the Canadians against his arms, but he sets up, has enough freedom in which to take a good independent shot at the basket, but it goes off the face of the rim. And now for GONCIN. He really is slick and smooth. And that looked to be thinking twice about dropping down, but it does fall. He rattles it, and then it falls through for another couple. So Canada within one. This game is taking a little bit of a turn in a change of momentum. Now Philo is right on point. He's going to bring out ENG, and in comes MORONCHUK. So he's a youngster as well, 20 years of age, a 4.5. So the same classification, obviously, as he replaces ENG. So you have to, of course, factor that all in as to how you're going to put together your 5-pack and keep it at 14 or below. Nobody wants to play below, though, that. You want to play right at 14. So coaches will have to work with certain combinations together to make sure that the rhythms and the the strong points of their game, that they've got players in tandem, and they're going to count that as an offensive foul going against GONCIN. You see what he thinks about it. Now he's got a couple busy Turks on him, and you see him just suggesting that they are trying to hunt him down to keep him locked up, and it almost creates a little bit of anxiety there, doesn't it? Because that's a part of the activity, just keeping the players boxed in. And this is the Turkish player who is down, needing some support. He's backed up and he's ready. GUNDOGDU. So this play will continue. Some room from there. The passing game is employed rather than a shot. And just again, the incidental contact. That was GUMUS. Thought he had probably as good a look at it. He's a 3.0. So you'll get in the most, the higher classified players, more confident maybe to take a shot and equally relied upon more to take the shot. But everybody in a position like that right there, Hedges, he'll take it, he'll drop her down. He's the captain of this side. And at 36 years of age, he's been through the journey. He knows just what it's about. And he takes that off the glass, and does it look like he's done that a time or two before? And he has. So this will in fact be for Turkey. Contact up high leads for Ferit again to make this play in. He's got that left-handed stroke. It's out to their number 99, YAVUZ. Down low, inside, and it's off the rim. Turkey have a couple times just sped into a position that actually hasn't been advantageous in which to get the 2-point return, or even to draw the foul, because they've been going so quick. They've just lost the angle. That gets turned over. Here comes their captain. He releases on the fast break. This for Turkey. They should be able to convert from here. They do. That's their number three, DALAY. And so he will enjoy that one. Well, they're 35-year-old, and he hasn't had a lot of scoring in this tournament. Now, in fairness, he's 8.5 is his average per game, but those are just in today's game, just his first two. And that from GONCIN. He's finding a rhythm now. So this will go back and forth. That's a tight basket, but what a score it is. That's a fantastic play from YAVUZ. The 29-year-old takes that one on a tightrope, and he had to roll right on it, because it's, as I had been saying, they've got into those areas that has made it difficult to try and overcome. And he really does make it count from what looked to be not an impossible angle, but he certainly was running out of position. So a 4 spot comes in for Canada, and wholesale changes. You see the mustache on Chad and JASSMAN. And if mustaches were grades, you'd definitely be passing with that one. I guess it all depends on your preference, but it definitely is stylish. It does prompt me to comment every time I see it. It's just as well curled and as prepared. As it's now down, and it's going to be a rebound for the Canadians. Lobbed up by GONCIN. That's going to go right into the hammock. And unfortunately, a little bit of a twist there. Canada do really well to keep that alive. This is their youngster, number 8, HICKEY. And oh, he's not caught the eyes of his teammate on that play. He just turned his back to him. And you think sometimes while they're generating momentum, they would be just as well served by making sure they can, as much as they can, keep their eye on the play. Are they going to count that, or was that before the shot? I think they're going to count it, as there is double fives coming in from the captain to Ferit. So he extends the lead to 3, and he's got the bonus. So Canada already on 5 fouls. They commit them again in this first half, and they'll go right to the line. So a timeout has been called. Canada, just a little bit of swing here on that last play. 3-point potential swing coming up with this free throw.
Let's get an edge on defense. Let's force that side shot. Get up.
So DALAY, GURBULAK the captain, ACAR, SAYAK, and GUMUS on the floor for Turkey. On the line though, haven't quite got that right, as this is going to be their number 35. So it is GUMUS. It's his first name that he goes with on the back of his jersey, Ferit. So this will be played on as here they come. The offload from GONCIN. He has shown some flair. DALAY with just the hand on it, but he caught a little too much of Juan as he was going to the basket. So the 28-year-old will have a shot. He's a 2.5 classification. Works the rim, but it will go down. So they've kept it tight here, the Canadians. This is a strong performance, well focused and delivered. Another bucket, a 1-pointer from the free throw line, and it's back within 1. So Turkey have come out in the second quarter, and they've given a little bit of breathing room to Canada. It was 14-9 for Turkey in the first. Right now, the scoring is 12-8 for Canada in the second. But the shooting game being employed well by the Turks. And from range again, there's their captain. GURBULAK knows when to score big buckets. And he puts down his second. It's only 4 so far. He's been averaging 23. Oh, Juan. Can't win that one, as it will just come off the rim. And what have the Turks got in store? There's a good give and go and a score again. They have proven that they'll catch you on the fast break if you fall asleep for a moment. SAYAK with his opening score, the assist going to DALAY. And across, this is GONCIN looking for some support. He's going to get moving again. And that's off the rim. So just to clarify, in and around the traveling rule, they're allowed to touch their wheels twice, but then from there they must dribble, pass, or shoot in order to allow more moments or more movement being propelled by their hands. So you see a lot of times the players will actually kind of surf through an area if they've got some momentum and use their core strength, and that just to sort of force down on the wheels and create movement. And you can almost sometimes pick up speed without even using your hands if you use that core strength, moving back from side to side. And that's what I was referring to earlier about GONCIN. He can show you that he has that snowboarding aspect to him, because he's done that without hands, been able to actually get the chair to jump with him, and they can just create that force just through their core strength. What a famous player, one of the best ever in this sport, Patrick Anderson, who is no longer playing for Canada, but a big part of their success over the last 4 Paralympic Games. He was the one that really, in the most invented the idea of rebounding by actually coming off the floor. And so he'd bring his wheelchair right up off the floor in order to extend himself upwards. And this is getting a little bit nutty, as starting to get irate, wasn't he, GURBULak, the Turkish captain? And Canada have done that, got under the skin of Turkey a few times by just locking them up, getting their chairs in on them, and they're using whichever little bit of advantage that they can formulate. And this, their youngster, Hickey. So these are all prime minutes for new personnel coming into this Canadian program, and how to improve, how to get better against playing the best. And the teams in these games that they have participated in. As to the line, it will be Turkey. And the distance was there for Kaan Delay, but a little too much on it. The second one, much more precise. So now they've increased their lead to a half dozen, have Turkey. That'll bring about a timeout call now. Or rather, it was just the substitution coming in from the Canadian bench from the horn. From a long ways, that didn't look as though it had enough in it. But it goes around, caroms around the rim and out. And Canada can't recover it again. And you're just seeing the Canadian player just getting back upright again. That is never easy, particularly without the support of another one of your players to come across. It was LANCIA, the 36-year-old, a 4.0. That didn't look as though maybe it had the distance to it. Ultimately, it was just the accuracy that let down GONCIN. So these substitutions and the clarifications going on. So there was a foul, is what they're suggesting from Canada. So all the way down the length of the floor, they will go. Turkey with the shots, because Canada had already had 5 in this opening half. And now ENG comes in, and it can become a little bit of a navigation, these calls, as we're still waiting for the Canadians to get into position. GONCIN querying the call. ENG is now out there, but the referee is trying equally just to sort out his thoughts. And then you got players in one ear, you got coaches in the other, you got the other referee looking at you saying, have we got this thing under control? HR will take the shot. He goes off the rim with this first look. Deniz HR. Both of them have a little too much vibration to them, as ENG will feed this one forward. And it's wrapped up by Juan, but with 6 points, that spread, they're going to need to find a bucket, just keep themselves feeling it. The Canadians going in at halftime. They will compete with the best of them. Just need to give a realistic chance. Was there a foul on the play in the course of shooting? Yes, there was. ENG is going to go to the line, and you can see the questioning coming from both ends. The players, of course, they always want to get away with a little bit of something. They're looking for the best deal, the best distraction defensively without a foul. And this ENG is looking for the maximum return from the free throw line. And that's just been cut in half as he's missed the first one. Second one, though, will just work its way around, and it falls. So there is a discrepancy between the game clock and the shot clock. Turkey will shoot it early, but they don't get it. And this now for ENG. They've got enough time, Canada, to come up the floor and cut this to 3. The difference if they can get a basket here. The feed to the lane inside. This looks good, but they're not going to make it. Can they follow it up? A little bit clumsy to try to gather it, but they'll take it. It was the same margin they were down after the first quarter, Canada. They level each other in the second between Canada and Turkey. They get 15 points apiece. So as we have seen so far, the total tally at halftime is Turkey 29, Canada 24. This is the last match in Group A in the preliminary round for both of these teams. So the shooting percentage overall, pretty good at 47%, but they'd love to get into the 50s with Turkey. They're going to need to be in that range to compete for a medal in this tournament. Canada all right from the free throw line. 1 from 6 is equally not going to get it done for Turkey. The rebounds very equitable, and the turnovers, the Canadians, well, they're giving the ball up just a little more than they would like, but that's the pressure of playing against a good opponent like Turkey. And that's where it'll rest for the moment. It's all still to play for in the second 20 minutes of this matchup. The Canadians, who travel well, in great support of their men's program, so are all these Brazilians. They love their sport. They equally in support of Turkey too. And the shots of the crowd really has been outstanding, how Brazil and the world have supported these games. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. We'll be back with you for the second half coming up. And there is confirmation again of the score. It was the 5-point differential after the opening quarter, and equally they level each other in the second. So still it's 5 points ahead for Turkey, 29-24, as we're just about to start the third quarter. So Turkey already qualified and are in a quarterfinal position. So 12 teams total in the men's wheelchair basketball competition in the Rio 2016 Paralympic Games. And so the top 4 from each group will go through to the quarterfinals. The remaining 2 from each side will then contest for 9 through 12 in the classification round. And it will be the inbound for Turkey. They took the opener on that opening tip-off, and then Canada in the second quarter. They are underway now in the second half. And this, their big man, gets the ball right away. GEZINCI, he elects not to, and I'm going to hazard a guess that GEZINCI's well north of 200 pounds. Just a really big, wide-shouldered body, and a handful for every team that he has played. Just very mobile though too, and just interesting to see what a presence he has. It's not him that does the majority of the scoring though for Turkey, as Eng will turn around, but he does do that. Gets the rebound and just draws it in. He takes it up the floor, offloads it to the captain. GURBULAK will now just see if it can't get it back to him. You got 3 Canadian defenders on him. He'll release himself out of there before he gets trapped, and the Canadians have been good at that. You might call it sledging in other sports, as far as just getting their caster wheels inside of the spokes or inside of the back of the wheelchair if you can. You see how upended is GURBULAK trying to get that forward, and he's just querying something with one of his teammates as to just were they gonna just do what he was wanting them to do or what? It looked to be the expression on his face there. That was kind of universal sign language for that. He puts it off the glass and banks it in. GONCIN with the inbound, and he will carry the load. You don't see him really settling up because he likes to manage the ball and set the table for this offense. So he could be a player down low as a low center on a post position, but he's just got such athleticism and speed and mobility that he really just likes to come up and distribute and offload. But the shooting game from Canada right now, it isn't matching that ability to be just shooting from the wings. They've got to get it down low. They've got to move quicker than the defense can respond and try to get some fast break points, because they've let up a couple scores here in this third quarter, and this lead now is increasing. So it's actually 6 in total that Turkey has scored. Nothing yet for Canada. It brings about the need for a timeout, as Turkey have taken now an 11-point margin. So reaching in, just trying to get enough of it, but extending beyond. You see that Turkey has size, they've got athleticism, they've got depth too. They've just been a little bit more fundamental in their execution. GONCIN will inbound, and ENG will take receipt of this pass. As soon as he touches it, the shot clock starts. That's why you'll see them obviously delay before they receive it. This is quick though from HEDGES, as he comes up and just plots it in. ENG goes for the big effort on the steal with the capable hands of Ferit GUMUS. It was really impressive to have secured that, because you saw ENG just kind of swing his way around and almost with a clotheslining motion tried to just disrupt that pass being completed. It was well taken and well scored. Look at this shot though, right from range. That is Abdi DINI. He's a 1.0, 35 years of age, and he drops a bucket. There's a couple. And the shimmy, just trying to get rid of the defense, and you see how irritated the Turkish player, that again is Ozgur GURBULAK, and he's really starting to lose his temper. He's gonna have a little chat with him, pull him off and just say, you need to just cool down. So that really is that just restraining that's going on that is allowed to an extent, but that's what he's trying to draw attention to. And probably the best equivalent to that is if you watch rugby league, where they pin the player down after he's been tackled. There's a great touch, and he puts that in. And they flail, trying to get the referee's attention, suggesting they're being held there. Really they're not, but every player does it after every time they're taken down. And that's very similar what's going on there. Flailing, trying to get attention, suggesting as though the impeding is beyond the rules of the game. The referees haven't called it yet. This is GURBULAK, who just had that sweet touch off the glass. And where will he go with this one? GONCIN is marking what looked to be his #1 option to air here, 77. Look at this inside. That is a good arrival. The positioning was strong. Again, just that angle of getting too tight to the basket sometimes. Just a little too assertive, maybe a little too anxious is Turkey. Just at moments, and that's something that they're gonna have to be cleaner with if they want to go deep in this tournament. Ball management is king. So they're the youth movement, part of it for Canada coming in. That's Liam Hickey, 18 years of age. We've seen him with some real skill, speed, and he equally has got himself involved in this one. He's got a couple points in the 8 minutes that he's played. He's only taken the one shot though, so you see naturally the athletes will defer to the positions that they feel that maybe the older players should get some shots sometimes, but you make what's available to you. He looks a very capable player, useful for Canada. So this is a foul, and it's going to be, as you saw right there, it's Ferit who comes in, who with the offensive foul wasn't in total control of his wheelchair. And then the Canadians now with the inbound. So they've let it slip to now 11 points, the advantage. They're going to have to start coming up with something a little more dramatic, whether it be threes or just quicker on their attack. They've let a couple of their possessions, 24 seconds not happen. And this has to be GONCIN taking a shot. He does. He's got that right in his locker. He needs more of that, but he just had to get some separation away from the defender, makes that pass, gets it back, and then he just pops it for 2. So he's on 6. So is Hedges. Juan has 4, Hickey 2, Lancia 2, so does DINI, and ENG with 8. There, the counter response from Turkey. He's having himself a good game right now. There's GUMUS. He's got 10, so does GURBULAK. So on double digits, they're shouldering this offense right now. And that has been the way it has worked with his team. DALAY is averaging just over 8 and gives so much attention to GEZINCI, but he's just 5 points a game has been the average for him. Just really noticeable because of his size out there. Very effective in the defensive half for Turkey, and when it gets into those trenches, that's going to be an advantage. This will wrap around and leave the basket. So 5 total rebounds for GEZINCI. GUMUS has also got that, and he's just been able to time it right, coming in and getting the feed on these. So it's been quite controlled here, run right to the middle. This should be an easy one, and they score. GURBULAK just saw the fallen player, and when there was room, you see him there. He's got the moonwalk. He's rolling out of that trouble. And there, both players get wrapped up. This should be, I think the Turkish player is not going to be able to get upright. Hasn't been able to as yet. Generally, it's they try to get to their side and then roll over on their front. And from there, they can either receive some help, or most of the athletes can get themselves upright. You see JASSMAN just doing some of his own repairs there. He just sets up camp with his own little pit lane. He's his own mechanic. So to the line, the Canadians, this Jonathan Vermette. He's a 1.0, 25 years of age. That is a gorgeous shot. The arc that is nice is the Golden Arches. He got a couple where that came from. And he does not. So it will be the Canadians who are a dozen points adrift in the scoreline right now. GUMUS with all of the coloring on both of his arms. He's got a full sleeve up and down. And he is looking for a foul. He's gonna get one though. And this, the contact on the arm, and I think it was prior to the shot. Just see where that will be indicated. The behind the back, and that's a tough way to go down. There it is. It's right on the arm, pretty much hanging off him, is Chad JASSMAN, the 32-year-old. It's tough to take both the ball and the opposition player up to the basket together. So there's been contact again, and that's been a couple back-to-back plays. JASSMAN has the first foul. And has he done it again to him? It will be back-to-backs for JASSMAN, and you almost just feel how sensitive it is as far as, you know, the calls against. He's just picked back-to-back right there. So GUMUS, the 1-2-3 passing play, and it has been just very effective how they've moved the ball. They seem to just make the right decisions as necessary at the right times. It's not been overly flashy by Turkey. That from JASSMAN will fall back in his possession. That's worked out well. He just came across to help his teammates. He gets a feed again. This is a no-look pass. 1-2-3 around the horn. That looked to be a triple play. And this for JASSMAN is just going to go off the rim, and they move that right around the bases. With the rim being touched, that brings about, it was actually a foul on the play, but they will have a reallocation of 14 seconds on the shot clock. And this has been curious sometimes as to who is going to inbound it. It seems to be as uncertain as to where and what they're going to do in these situations. And that's just a little bit of experience, getting to know where their strengths are, but they are just trying to establish these areas of responsibility. So GONCIN takes it out. Been knocked out of play by Turkey, and they're doing their best to direct traffic. He looks like an air traffic controller. He's found a way to get this one on the runway. And where will JASSMAN go with it? He slots it inside, picked up well by Hickey. And the give and go, this is the looping pass, but they've forgotten about that very fundamental element of time. And that has, in fact, expired. So many disruptions in that whole sequence between the ball just being batted out of play and then working so hard to get it inbounds and then trying to get who is to have it, that actually the clock, it doesn't stop for any of us, does it? It just keeps ticking. Inside, and they come up with a little bit more here. You see, they're going to call that a jump ball, say that it's the possession arrow that has been contested for legally. The hands were on the ball, not contact on the arm. And so just that's the way the possession arrow had fallen. And there is a lot of discussion going on amongst Canada, and that's encouraging because, as we say, this is really a program that is going through rejuvenation and a transition, coming off what has been a historic spell in the sport of 3 golds and 1 silver in the last 4 Paralympic Games in the men's wheelchair basketball. This, they are on the outside looking in on the quarterfinal round, but a last game in this preliminary match against, or preliminary round of 5 games that they will play. And this is their last one. They've yet to get a victory. This one, it's not impossible from here, but they're going to have to activate in the remaining just over 2 minutes. They need to have really back-to-back scores and not to concede. JASSMAN, it's a very reticent approach from Canada. They seem to move it around and just waiting to see who's going to take the initiative. They're really looking for some offensive leadership. So the players just milling around. There isn't a whole lot of clarity here. Referees need to just grab this situation and just keep things moving along. 14 seconds on the shot clock, but it's a foul from the Canadians at the one end that leads to the shot down here. That's because, well, the amount of fouls already given up, those back-to-backs from JASSMAN. They add up quickly. And then there's a few others that obviously have to give them the 5 total. You're really just seeing every player almost testing the boundaries of what the referee will tolerate. Ozgur GURBULAK with another bucket on the board, and he will put himself on a 16 now. 2 from 2 from the line, 7 from 9 is his shooting percentage, 78%. So if you look at the overall shooting, it's 57% right now for Turkey in this match, and for the Canadians, 38. That really is the story. You get a 20% difference in your output. This game is within at least a half a dozen at the most. David Eng tries to get around. The defender just closes off as he's going to move quickly and change his direction. Already up and controlling that is Kaan SAFAK. So Eng already visualizing his free throw attempt from the line. And you see just how frustrating it can be. You want to get movement, you want to get open, but a lot of the work is done when the clock is stopped here from the free throw line. Must make your shots. Eng is 2 from 6. So he's left 4 points on the floor that he would love to have put up on the board, shooting 33%. That's taken well by HICKEY. And can he do something with it positively? This is for Eng. He's advanced it forward for JASSMAN. Now he's got 3 Turks tracking him like private eyes, right on him, and not letting him do much of anything. He gets it to Eng, but then a foul has been called again, and he's, as a result of the amount of fouls already that these teams are exchanging, David Eng will go to the line. And there is new personnel coming in. TOPRAK Ugur, the 24-year-old, he's the 3.0. He takes out GUMUS. And Eng again, 2 from 6, now 3 from 7. And 4 from 8, so he moved up to 50% from the free throw line. That's a little bit better. The feed inside, this is a good position for Turkey, and the hoop and the harm, the buckets and the bonus now coming up from the free throw stripe. So this game is really just kind of slowed up here now in the last couple of minutes as these two teams just trading shots from their respective free throw stripes. GEZINCI 31, he's a 4.5. And I think that his total offensive output belies what his talent, his size, and his advantages. He's a player I think can provide even more for Turkey offensively. He's put up 6 in this one, but he looks like a score that should be in the teens. Needs to work on that shooting. Saying that he's at 43%, taken 7. He seems to defer, of course, to the captain GURBULAK, who has been able to make it count, and equally GUMUS. Those are the 2 shooters that are well capable of scoring and are proving that game in, game out. But you need a big center option too to triangulate, have 3 shooters. But Canada on a fast break, they will score inside the closing seconds of this 3rd quarter. There is Liam HICKEY, and he enjoys a good run to the basket. He's got 6. Clock management, game management. Will they get one last one off? They've passed it around. I think they're going to run out of time. This is going to be a rather meek attempt at the end. And those are instances where I would have thought that maybe GEZINCI, with his size and strength, could have just shot one from 3 and taken his chances at it. But that is where it will rest after 3/4 time. It's the scoreline of 51-37. Turkey leading Canada by 14 points. And one more quarter to come in his preliminary round. It's the men's wheelchair basketball. The stats improving slightly. Free throws a little bit better for Canada. Defensive rebounds, they are equal. The turnovers, whilst Canada has committed more of them, it really is a difference right now in the overall field goal shooting of both teams. The Canadians start the fourth quarter with control. And the crowd enjoying the buzz as they generate for themselves, trying to lift the performance of both of these teams out on the court. But it is Turkey that just stripped that ball from Canada. And they're going to have to hold and wait for some support. It's out across the line. And from an outside position, they make a pass internally, but that's prior to the shot that the foul is assessed. They'll wave that off. So again, it's just the assembly of personnel in the appropriate position. Just waiting to see that, yes, in fact, they're going to just have the inbound for Turkey. These substitutions are so plentiful right now that it's becoming difficult to just seeing this game losing a little bit of its flow. Are in. He's wanting to contribute, but they're going to get tight on time. They'll take this shot. It's a rebound. Canada have got it. And this just bumped along. Well taken. And an angle for MORONCHUK. Oh, he's just been a little too light, in fairness. He needed to extend that up and into that little window, little target area above the rim. And Turkey have not been able to. MORONCHUK tries to bounce it forward for his teammate just to pick up on the end of it, Tyler Miller. And Turkey now are going to have their third look at target. And this has been a sputtering start for both teams for this fourth quarter. Canada, if they could just get a sequence of a three-point play or a couple back-to-backs, they could start to just turn the pressure up and the heat up inside this Rio Olympic arena. Turkey are by no means home and dry yet, but with that shooting percentage for Canada, they've got to get the benefit of something a little bit out of the norm. And they're just performing at what has been a very average level for them in this tournament. They can raise that slightly. Things could get interesting. Fading and firing. They'll drop for two. Turkey have advanced their scoreline first. GEZINCI is back in. He's immediately got ENG right there with him. But if they want to feed it into him, they can find him. Referees to just get the play rolling again. This is HEDGES waiting for the feed. It's down low. Canada can roll to the basket from here. That's a tough pass to make. Go up and over the rim, making sure not to hit the backboard. The effort, a good one. Nice and high, up. Trying to get that drop and deflection down towards the rim. Oh, well taken. That's exactly what I'm referencing is GEZINCI. That is an impressive bear paw that he just throws up there. That right hand. And it just sticks like Velcro. He puts it in the basket. And there's been a couple buckets now. 4 points, nothing yet for Canada in this fourth quarter. MORONCHUK goes across to ENG. It is picked off on the old clothesline. They'll unpeg this one and put it into their possession. The captain, the feed down low, wide open bucket, and this is Turkey starting to feel it in this fourth quarter. They've come out in better synchronization. They've just got more flow. Canada have not been able to generate momentum and continuously just move the ball. They have looked a little bit disarrayed. This was the good play a moment ago that leads to the calling of the timeout. It's little things, and it's ball movement. The ball is always going to move quicker than the players. And that is what will just frustrate any personnel on the floor, equally the coaches, when just that temporarily lack of awareness or lack of concentration on taking your assignment will lead to an open man. But equally Turkey, they've moved this ball very well in his tournament. They find themselves up 20. GONCIN's got that in his playbook, but it'll go off the front of the rim. And another rebound. And as the fans kick up the Mexican wave in and around the facility, and Turkey are just looking to take the air out of this building, certainly out of the sails of the Canadians' return into real contention for this match. Now 20 points clear. Oh, a good look there. And a roll. JASSMAN. Just can't keep control of it. Turkey with the inbound. The Canadians doing their best to mark a man, but they have to find them and stay with them. You're just seeing a lot of crossover defensively, and it gets difficult to front up. There was a good defensive play though from Hickey, getting a hand in, not allowing that feed to GEZINCI, because once he's got it, he really does have an advantage over you simply because of his size. And you've got to try and prevent that access. Once it's there, then you've got to prepare for what's likely to be the rebound. Other than getting a hand up in his face and trying to irritate him, you're not going to be able to extend as high as his reach is. Now GONCIN with some good speed here. The offload, can this be picked up? It's given back, but it's the hand on it. This is going to be a tough one. The angle is really difficult from there. The spin was actually rolling outwards. It needed to try and come the other way, but that was the difficulty of having a real swipe at that basket. And the contact has led to Canadians now taking an inbound. So Juan just elects to move, but there really isn't a player to pass it to. He will shoot, and he does. He threads one. Puts it down for 2. And high up above his three-point line. Turkey are just happy to try and just draw the air out of this game. They're not forcing it down low. They were positioned up high. There's Zhang with 10 points. He may have, in fact, for a spell, maybe not for the night as yet, but this is a great chance now. There's only one player. Green is knocked out in the lineup for Canada in this one. And this is all great experience under a situation that they want to, simply with pride, and of course reflect the end product with as much of all the work and commitment that has gone in, and represent themselves as the proud wheelchair basketball nation Canada is. But GURBULAK now with a towel on his shoulders. He's got 18 points and he's enjoying his performance there on the sidelines. Now it's GONCIN with the look. Oh, that is a great shot. You just again wonder why he doesn't do it more often. And of course you want to get all of your personnel involved, and I see that. It is about playing the long game and making sure that everybody's getting valuable touches on the ball and included in the overall strategy of the offensive game. But he has enough shooting weaponry just in his own right that this game could be kept in touch. And there's a 3-ball from Turkey. They will put one from downtown. TOPRAK, and you see he's got that in his playbook. That's the first 3 that we have seen in this match, and it's there now on the board. So Eng will come back and just keep rotating this personnel in and out of this lineup now. The feed into Eng. Can he come up with the angle? He does. Just the fade away and the drop off the board. So this game is not run and gun from here. Both of them are just playing chess equally. Turkey, they have total control as to how they want to push things. The Canadians need to take a few chances. You saw that 3-pointer a moment ago from TOPRAK. Canadians maybe need to have a look at that as well. They don't take a lot of them in this particular match. It has been GONCIN that's had a look 3 times, and the one from MORONCHUK as well, but none of them have fallen as yet for Canada. That one is just an errant pass that cannot be executed. Just looking at them, they're just needing just a little bit more purpose about how they are going about their business. That one is some contact off the play. It leads to a Canadian foul. That was Juan who put his hand up and took responsibility for that one. But it's into Turkey again. And this now, TOPRAK, he put that 3 up a moment ago as he got another one just to dazzle this crowd, put a little bit of a cherry on top of this performance. He'll just go from 2-point range, and it just works its way around. It does a full swirl and then rolls out. And in the hands of Turkey on the back of Juan. As best he can, try to get through this traffic, Eng, and just looking and watching as this game unfolds. You look across a lot of sports, Olympic and Paralympic sports, and this really is wheelchair basketball, in fairness, quite sensitive as far as how the calls are made. Just the slightest of contact sometimes, just with the chairs. And of course there's a lot of incidental contact as Turkey hits another shot from the outside, but it just seems that most contact is assessed with a foul. There is not a real great amount of allowance, as Hedges will just saddle up at the three-point line. He's looking for where his best shooting look is going to come from. He's going to go to the backside. There, the interference, though, of a Turkish left hand. That's TOPRAK who gets to it first, knocks it out, and they only have 6 seconds now, Canada. They're going to have to work quickly. Bailo still with some very good energy, using these moments to teach and to inform and make sure that this experience is being fully received and taken on board. Good spin move here. This is number 12, Green, now getting some floor time for Canada, so that will be every player now into the match. It's Eng that goes to the line, though, so quick, the foul coming, and just wondering really why Turkey are committing the fouls. You would expect that they would want to just keep the game going, keep the clock rolling, and try to execute a more cleanly defended strategy with the remaining minutes in this game. But Eng from the line, he knows he needs to be better. He goes 5 from 10. He's at 50%. HR with the pass in. And Turkey just a long ways from getting down low. You see the cross block coming in. That was Eng, who just really set the trap for him, and as soon as he thought there was some room to come in, he just made sure to box him out. And that was Green working on that one with Eng, just to not allow access as easy as it was hoped for Turkey on that play. GEZINCI makes that outside, a three-pointer. It goes off the rim, and it will just be picked up, tidied up by David Eng. And he's got to have a three-point prospect in his. He really needs it. Maybe an adjustment in style, because they've not been able to get a center down low. They're missing that, Canada. That element of having that presence, a big body, and that will just go right over the rim and slide out the other side. But any of the real top teams in this tournament have got a few big bodies, and they'll park them down low. You can get the ball to them. It just opens up your width and your depth. Eng in flow, he's forced back. He'll just keep trying to work his way. This from range from Green. I like the idea. Inside this last minute, he hasn't had a whole lot of activity. Go for it and take the best that you've got at it. And I love the spirit. This will be maybe another crack for him. He's got the ball. Take your moments and shine. It's down deep. He may have a better look at it. He's got a long range. That's a pass across to ENG. He might pick up an assist on it. And he's going to. Well taken by ENG as he fades off and puts that in. GEZINCI from the 3-throw line. He'll drop it. And this just inching its way to the end of 40 minutes. No more fouls to give. They're just going to allow the play to just sizzle out. That's going to be the end now of the preliminary round. Turkey really in control in the majority. And that was some hard work at times for both teams to get through the match. A little bit of fatigue settling in. They played 5 games over the course of the opening 5 games or days of this tournament. And now the hands shaking. There's a moment for reflection for both sides. Turkey, who will go on in the quarterfinals, and Canada giving them full respect for it. And Canada thinking about just how they want to build and prepare themselves as they go forward. They get the classification matches as well to determine just where 9 through 12 will finish, but this is confirmation of the final score. It's 67-46. Turkey over Canada in the last match in the Group A in the preliminary round. So the full game stats, as you can see, the shooting percentage stronger for Turkey throughout. The defensive rebounds, very similar. The turnovers, really, it wasn't such a